Today seems like a beautiful day to do a spring walkthrough of our flower gardens. These are the peony bushes which are about ready to explode into bloom, but it'll be another week or two before they're in full bloom. But as we walk down the sidewalk here, we'll see there are a lot of flowers. Down here's a lot of stone crop, which becomes very invasive. The creeping phlox is finished blooming already, and next to it is a small wild geranium, and there's tick seeds, and there are some bee balm which haven't yet started to bloom, and we have more peonies over here and more of a stone crop, more wild geraniums. The wild geranium's a very interesting plant. It is an attractant to the Japanese beetle. They love to eat the leaves on it, but it is toxic to them, so when they eat it, it kills them. So we love having a few of the wild geraniums around just to attract and feed the Japanese beetles when they come. There's also a lot of Columbine blooming, as you'll see here, in various colors. Mostly it's the purples at the present time. There's a bleeding heart blooming over here. On this side is another wild geranium, and behind it is some hen and chicks, and some asters blooming behind them. These small greenish purplish plants that you see are miniature Joe Pye weed, and they'll be blooming probably around July time frame. There's a huge wild geranium there. These are painted daisies blooming here, and there's a mixture of colors from yellows, whites, pinks, and reds. The tulips are finished blooming, unfortunately. They were beautiful earlier in the year, but they're done blooming now. More wild geraniums, more columbines. Some lilies behind them, which aren't in bloom yet. And the phlox again is finished already. There's some peach-colored iris, and there's some purple iris getting ready to bloom. And over on this front of the house, we have more columbines. These are Common Rue plants here, which are about to bloom. Their buds are showing. They're a very nice plant to grow for a pollinator. We love those. And they also repel rabbits and deer and things like that. So that's pretty much the front of the house. Out by the road we have another flower garden, and I'll walk out there and get some pictures of those, and we'll restart the video at that point. This is a French lilac. It's about 4 years old. It's just now first year with really good blooms on it. It's getting to be a beautiful plant. We have a small bed over here with some California poppies blooming in it. We'll get a close-up of those poppies. They're beautiful this time of year. I briefly stopped the video and started again because of a loud truck that was coming by, to give you a close-up of the poppies that are blooming. They're such beautiful plants, and they bloom every year here, and they grow more and more of them. You see there's a lot of buds that haven't opened yet, but they're such beautiful plants, and butterflies and bees love them as well. We're out in the front flower bed now. This is another wild geranium. It's absolutely huge this year. It's never been this large before. This is a blue one, which is more colorful than the white ones up by the house. Here's some beautiful dark purple iris blooming, which are really beautiful. And some bearded iris, some light blue bearded iris. There's some more Common Rue growing down here. And that's a butterfly bush, which is just getting started. This little green plant here is a butterfly weed, and it has beautiful orange flowers on it in the summertime. had to stop and start the video again due to another truck coming by. These are Mediterranean bell alliums growing here, and the blooms hang down so they're hard to see inside of, but they're really beautiful plants. And hiding inside of this lilac bush is a globe allium that needs to be dug up and moved again. It's being overtaken by the lilac bush. Some close-up pictures of the bearded iris here, which I think are beautiful this time of year. Next to the utility pole here are some comfrey plants. These are Bocking 14 comfrey plants. These are planted for the pollinators. They love the flowers of these, especially the bumblebees. And these are perennial, so we don't have to do anything with them except periodically cut the tops off and keep them cleaned up and trimmed. But they're beautiful plants and well loved by the pollinators. This is our one of our back flower beds next to the raised beds where we grow vegetables, and that's a rhubarb planter. We have some river birch growing here, and there's some beautiful globe alliums, and there are some Mediterranean alliums down here, and there's some more of the wild geranium. This bush here is a weeping butterfly bush. It will soon be in bloom, and it'll be totally covered with butterflies when it is. It's just a small garden, but it's absolutely beautiful, brings in a lot of pollinators to our vegetable gardens, and very soon these peonies will be in full bloom as well. These are high bush cranberry bushes. They're just about done blooming. Their blooms are starting to fade. In a very short time, these bushes will all be covered with red berries, and those red berries will stay on these bushes all fallen into the winter, and they'll be a food source for the cardinals and the blue jays during the winter, and any other songbirds that happen to come through. So the really nice bushes, they've been here probably 5 or 6 years, and they've gotten more beautiful every year, more blooms on them. So we're looking forward to seeing red berries decorate them in the very near future. The peonies are starting to bloom today, and they're absolutely beautiful. These over here haven't started yet. These are just pink ones. These are some heirloom 40-year-old peonies, and they're just beginning to start to open. But the red ones over here are opening now, and they're just gorgeous, and they have such a sweet smell. So many bees and butterflies just love to work these flowers. Today I noticed further down the sidewalk we have some alliums beginning to open up, yellow alliums, so I'll walk down there and get a close-up of those. A lot of Columbines blooming here. And there's the alliums. It's starting to open up. This will be just completely yellow in a few days. And the painted daisies are absolutely gorgeous. They're doing great this year. They're loving this cool weather and the rain that we've been having. I've been waiting for the peonies to open up so that I could finish this video. And last night we had a severe thunderstorm came through with some very strong winds, and it knocked over most of the peonies, so they're not going to be as beautiful this year as they normally are. They are blooming, but they're hanging low to the ground instead of up in the air like they normally are. These up next to the house didn't get affected as much, but they're not fully open yet. They're just now starting to open. They'll be a beautiful pink and white color when they do open, but they're not ready yet to start opening. So I think I'll probably just end this video and leave it with the amount of flowers that we currently have blooming. They are beautiful this year and very fragrant. They're really filling the yard with a sweet smell. These are the peonies in the backyard. They also all got knocked down with the high winds and the thunderstorm last evening. And they're still determined to bloom. This flower over here is a different variety, and it's an absolutely gorgeous pink color. And they're just now starting to open up. This bush didn't have as many blooms, so it didn't get affected by the strong wind as much as the others did.